In this lecture, we will discuss about surface condenser and cooling tower. First, we are taking surface condenser. There are some advantage of surface condenser. In the surface condenser, a high vacuum can be attained in the surface condenser and its value up to 73.5 centimeter of mercury, which will provide a high value of thermal efficiency. The condensate can be directly used as boiler feed water, and a 400 megawatt plant requires around 2000 tons of steam flow per hour. Any kind of cooling water can be used in the condenser because it does not directly come in contact with the steam, so we can use any type of cooling water in this type of condenser. But there are some limitations of this surface condenser, which are: the surface condenser is bulky in nature and therefore it requires more space. Its capital, running as well as maintenance costs are considerably greater in comparison to the jet condenser. Now, there is vacuum in condenser and its measurement. So, the vacuum in the condenser is the difference between the barometric pressure and the absolute pressure in the condenser. Let vacuum in the condenser is Hb of mercury. Hb for the vacuum in the condenser. Barometric pressure is denoted by Hb, centimeter of mercury. Actual pressure in the condenser, which is equal to absolute pressure, so the difference is Hb minus Hb, centimeter of mercury. The barometric head varies according to atmospheric condition. So, if the standard barometric pressure is taken as 76 centimeter of mercury at the sea level, then corrected vacuum in the centimeter of mercury will be equal to 76 minus Hb minus Hb. Now there is air leakage and its effect on condenser performance. So air leaks through the joints, packings and glands into the condenser because of the low pressure in the condenser. The air dissolved in feed water as well as in cooling water gets liberated when steam is formed and it is carried with the steam in the condenser. What are the effects of air leakage in the condenser? So the air leakage increases the pressure in the condenser and because of that it reduces the work done per kg of steam. The presence of air lowers the partial pressure of steam and its corresponding temperature. The heat transfer rates area greatly reduced due to the presence of air because it offers high resistance to airflow. Because air is there in the water, then it will greatly increase the heat transfer area because the air creates the high resistance to its heat flow. Now vacuum efficiency. Suppose PS we are taking at the saturation pressure of steam in bar corresponding to the temperature of water entering the condenser. Let PT is total pressure of air and steam in the condenser, so which is equal to PA plus PS. PB is the atmospheric or barometric pressure. Now ideal vacuum possible without air leakage is equal to PB minus PS, back pressure minus saturation pressure. Actual vacuum existing in the condenser due to air leakage, this is PB minus PT, back pressure minus total pressure, so PB minus PA plus PS. The vacuum efficiency is defined as the ratio of actual vacuum to the ideal vacuum. Given by this relation, vacuum efficiency PB minus PA plus PS whole upon PB minus PS. that is equal to Pb minus Pt upon Pb minus Ps. Now the condenser efficiency. The efficiency of a condenser is defined as below. This is equal to TWO minus TWI to the TS minus TWI. Where TWI is the temperature of cooling water at inlet. TWO temperature of cooling water at outlet, and TS is the temperature of steam corresponding to the actual absolute pressure in the condenser. Now we are taking cooling tower. When cooling water supply is limited in the plant, there is a need to recycle the water through the condenser. It is very important point. The cooling tower is an artificial device used to cool the hot water coming out of the condenser more effectively. So to cool the hot water effectively, we use the cooling tower. The principle of cooling tower in the cooling water is similar to that of the evaporative condenser. What is the evaporative condenser? The condensation or the evaporation occurs, the water will be converted into the steam, which will require some amount of heat which is taken from the water, so the water cools. It is the principle of evaporative condenser. There are different types of cooling towers, but the induced draft type of cooling towers are commonly used in high capacity power plants. So we will understand here the functioning of the induced draft type of cooling tower. In this type of cooling tower, we can see we use some induced draft fans at the top side. So there are 3 fans which are the induced draft fans, and air is coming from both the sides. Here air will enter from this portion, and air will move upward because we are using the induced draft fans top side, so it will suck the air. Hot water from the condenser is coming through this pipe or this passage, and we are using here some spray nozzles. So these nozzles will break the water particle into small fine particles. This is the storage. Makeup water is coming from with the help of the makeup water pump. There is some float ball to know or measure the level of the water. Then there is some pump to give water to the condenser. Now the air will enter from this portion and will move upward, and water is coming downward. So air will mix with the water. But here the evaporative condenser will occur. The air is having the less quantity of moisture, then it can hold the more quantity of moisture or water vapor. The water will come in contact, will be evaporated, decreasing its temperature. Then this air will move upward. So by the evaporative condensing principle, this induced draft type of cooling tower works, and it cools the water. The cooled water will be stored here, and it again supplied for the condenser. If the quantity of the cooling water is decreased, it is further and make up with the help of the a water pump being used here. Thank you.